Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on the YouTube account and we are continuing with day 3 of the Abyssal Expedition. So overall it has been going incredibly well. We actually got the first buff for the first tower down, which is right in this top with the buff right there. We do have the Surging Swamp buff, so that is complete. We are moving systematically into the other two areas. You can see, guys, we actually have an offshoot that's going up here to the ice. We also do have a downshoot, which is this is where I've actually been pushing, moving down towards here. Now, there are an incredible amount of tiles when you start getting into the water. That is one of the biggest pet peeves that we've seen. But when you look, guys, from right here, literally going down through these deep waters. Now, these are considered tier 5. The deep water is tier 5. These are 6s. The vortexes are 7s. Again, systematically moving down here. You have to go all the way down, then all the way down this coast, guys, all the way around to essentially hit this reef port. Now, once you do hit the reef port, you can activate this reef port, and then you have to literally go around this entire island, which again is kind of crazy. Going through here, taking all of these systematically, all the way around this entire island, because essentially you're going to land where you come around again and getting into, that is right, guys, the Flaming Savior. There is a different one on the other side. I forget the name of the other one, but you can see it is in this top left corner. But it is a right here, which is the Tidal Freeze. Now, these are required to fight the last boss. If you don't have them, I believe there is some massive debuffs that you do get from the boss. You're not going to be able to kill him. As far as I know, you're not going to be able to fight the last boss. You're not going to be able to take him out if you do not have both of those of the buffs when you go in there and you actually fight this boss. So now, looking at our Blessed Relics, guys, I went in Warrior. We did this from the beginning. Warrior was all in. I am waiting to build out the Relics, and as you can see, we are already at Earl, starting to push towards Marquise, I believe is the next one. But within this one, you can see there are two real big options in here. Number one, reach level 3 with all core relics. And the second part is acquire 4 legendary blessed relics. Now, what you want to do in this part, guys, is you want to go ahead and you want to build all 4 of these legendary blessed relics first before you do get anything else, because whatever your primary classification that you went in here, like I said, I went warrior. I want to build all 4 of these to meet that requirement. Then I'm going to go back through and I'm going to actually build all of these up to level 3. The reason being, you can see a majority of these, I don't have very many heroes built in here. And I am also using the Star of Dawn or the Relic Soul. I am using this Relic Soul within there. So if I'm using anybody outside of my warrior tree, I actually have the ability to buff them up. And again, I'm using Damon I used, but I've been using Mulan a lot. Mulan actually works incredibly well within this game mode. Eventually, we'll build them to 3. Eventually, we will build them to 4. But as of right now, you do want to pick up the relics right here. Now, you'll also notice in this game mode, guys, that the movement in here and the towers and camps are not very strong. So even here, guys, this is a green, meaning it should be very easy to take. I've been taking tier 6s with 2 heroes. So I've actually been using Alna Brutus in there. My second team was using Geralt and using Mulan in there. So I can take tier 6s pretty easy. Even looking at tier 7s, I can take the tier 7s, which are these camps, with 3 heroes. So I actually use 3 heroes in each formation. That one might be pretty interesting. But I've been taking tier 7s and 6s. As you can see, we're at 7,000 already. So as we progress further in here and picking up more relics, want to make sure that you're making more progression. Now, most guilds, if you look at the leaderboard, guys, there are a couple guilds that have actually taken out the second boss. I believe that is the second boss right there, the Reviled Captain or Oku the Iron Fist, meaning they have actually moved into this second area. So this boss has actually been taken out again for a couple of players. We took down some of the camps, which I believe there are quite a few in here. Some of the camps have been defeated. Now we're waiting on the bosses. The big reason for the boss, and really just waiting a little bit on the boss, guys, is to stack those relics. When you hit about 4.2, that is when you want to start taking out those bosses. A lot of players do kind of feed some of the bigger structures, so some higher level players can get a lot more essence a lot faster. But you do want to get to about 4.2 when you get in there. And then, of course, you're going to push through this gate. And then we get to another gate, which is actually right up here with Frampton. This is roughly 5.2 territory when you start building it and when you start moving through here. And then, of course, by the time you get to the final boss, guys, which, of course, is right in the middle of this place, you want to be as high built as you can. Now, because this is a live Abyssal expedition, because we do have the leaderboards, you can see nobody has built or actually killed out Colossus yet. We're doing pretty good. We're about 300 for the essence, which again, guys, we are not a really strong push guild. We are not a competitive guild. We go through here. It is more, even though we are honorable enrollment, we go through here and we just kind of play it as it is. We make sure that every player does get the Prince title, that they maximize the rewards they get out of there, which is really cool to see. So overall, guys, hope you're making a lot of progression here. Let me run through the heroes I built in here. So again, looking at, and it might be easier to look at it this way. Looking at the warriors, I have stacked a couple in here. So Brutus and Ulna, I've been running quite a bit. Athalia and Rem, I have not used at all. But I have been using Geralt as well. And I've also been using, again, Mulan, have been the heroes that I've been using. And that Relic Soul has actually been going on Mulan right here. The rest of the heroes, I have just been stacking stamina on. So when you look at Belindo, when you look at my support heroes in here, I have just been stacking stamina across the board. You can see all three of these are at 297. That is going to be one of my really, really strong teams. And then we have a couple that we built out a little bit further, but we've just been saving up the stamina with them. And then, of course, Mulan I've been using. Also with Tamers right here. Tamers I have used a little bit. Beasts, I used one. I used Talisman a little bit just to get over some of the early tier 7s as we made progression in there. And then, of course, we do have the Awakened version of Sophia right now, but I am not going to use her. We picked up 2 more cards. We know that we do get 2 cards every single day, guys, to go ahead and build her out. So because we're not doing our stream next week, I am going to be on vacation next week, so I'm not going to have the ability to do our stream next Sunday. So I want to go ahead and I'm going to use my 2 cards every single day that we get these guys, because we need 2 copies of the Awakened version of Sophia. So I'm hoping there's going to be a point where single summons, we are going to get the last 2 copies of the Awakened version of Sophia. Hopefully it's going to be this week. But in addition, guys, I am pushing a little bit within the King's Tower. We just hit 1,002, so we've been making a ton of progression in the Tower of Light. I am waiting for the Brutal Citadel because now we do have that Awakened version of Sophia, so I'm hoping to make a lot more progression in there. And it seems like a couple Celestial Sanctum, we should be able to make a little bit more progression, getting over that 700 mark and farming up a couple more cards out of here. Remember, out of here, you want to farm up those 20 levels for the simple fact that within the campaign, you want to hit the 960, you want to hit the 980, you want to hit the 980 right there, 1,000 right there, to farm up the time emblems. It is really going to make a game-changing difference when you're building out those Awakened heroes within formations. All right, guys, so that'll do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, and as always, thank you guys for watching.